Hi guys. This lesson I usually separate into 2 days, but I'm only going to make one video. And I'm really just going to focus on the homework because I kind of have special instructions for the homework. So if we do some of the homework problems, you kind of get the idea of the lesson and some help all at the same time. First of all, on the homework, I want to make it clear that we're following the directions but a little more. First of all, I want you to show work on a separate sheet of paper. Alright? Yes, if you wrote tiny, you could show all your work in these boxes, but that's not what I'm going for. I want work I can actually read at the end of this. I want work you can actually read at the end of this. So, that's the first thing I want is show work on a separate sheet. Okay? Also, the directions don't say this, but I'm going to have you do something a little bit special. And I'm going to start with number 2 for my example. Okay? I want you to, first of all, tell me what vocabulary word is being shown in the picture. And your choices are complementary, and you can abbreviate if you want to. And that picture would be where there's a 90-degree angle in it. Okay, and that's where your angles, angle 1 plus angle 2, add up to 90. Or we could be talking about supplementary. And again, you can abbreviate. That picture is going to be a straight line with a line coming out of it. Okay, and that's going to be angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180. And then lastly, we have vertical, and that's the X picture with those two angles across from each other labeled, and that's where angle 1 equals angle 2. Okay, so if I am doing number 2, okay, I am looking at, well, which picture does this, which vocabulary word does this represent? Well, this represents supplementary, so I'm going to put supplementary. And that told me that one of the angles plus the other angle equals 180. So I've got that all set up. Alright? How I wrote it here, how I see it here, is how I'm going to write it on my paper. And right now I'm going to switch to lined paper. Okay? I was afraid that was going to happen. Okay? So I'm going to switch to lined paper. And it's okay if we go out of order. Number 2, the equation is 5x minus 5 plus 7x plus 29 equals 180. Okay, now, because we're combining the Friday before break with today's work, don't forget, we have to check, are these like terms or are they variables both sides? Well, here's the equal sign. 7x and 5x are like terms. They're on the same side of the equal. They're both on the left-hand side. So 5x plus 7x is 12x. Okay, then the minus 5, I owe $5, but I have $29. So that makes plus 24 equals 180. Now I'm down to a 2-step. And we feel done because we know what x is. And we're going to come back to the homework sheet and we're going to write down x equals 13. But we're not done because what we ultimately want to know is what's this angle and what's this angle. How big are they? Okay, I can see one's acute, one's less than 90, one's obtuse, one's greater than 90, but I don't know how big they are yet. So what I need to do next is sub in 5x, well, x is 13. So sub in 13 for x minus 5. That's one of my angles, and we'll call that angle 1. It doesn't matter which one you call angle 1 and which one you call angle 2. Doesn't matter. 5 times 13 is 65, minus 5 is 60. And 7 times 13 plus 29 is 120. Okay. And so my two angles, angle 1 is 60 and angle 2 is 120. Okay. Critical step right now. You don't have to write it, but I encourage you to do it. The critical step right now is check your work. I said that the two angles, this one being 60, this one being 120, and I encourage you to label your diagrams. I said those two angles are supposed to add up to 180. Do they? 60 plus 120? It does equal 180. That's an important step to do because that's how you check your work, see if you did it right. If they didn't add up to 180, I'd start back at the beginning and try to figure out what did I do wrong. Okay, so that's number 2. That's supplementary. And on a quiz situation, I'm going to give 5 points for that. I'm going to give 1 point for knowing the correct vocabulary word. I'm going to give 2 points for setting up and solving the equation. I'm going to give 1 point for one angle and 1 point for the other angle. If you get this part wrong, that affects your angles. You can't get your angles right with the wrong x, so it's important to check. Okay? So that's supplementary. Let's find, here we go. Here, let's do number 5. All right, in number 5, I see a right angle. A right angle tells me complementary. That tells me this angle, I'm going to label it right in the diagram, plus the other angle equals 90, because we got that square in the corner. So that's what I'm going to set up on my paper. 8x plus 25 plus 5x equals 90. Here again, check. What do we got going on here? All right, we've got like terms because they're on the same side of the equal. They're both on the left-hand side. So 8x plus 5x is 13x. Bring down plus 25. Bring down equals 90. And then it's a 2-step from there. Okay, going back to my paper, I can say, okay, x is 5. But I still need to know angle 1 and angle 2. So let's say this is angle 1, this is angle 2. Okay, so angle 1 I said is 8x plus 25. So 8 times 5 plus 25. 40, 65. And angle 2 is simply 5x. So 5 times 5 is 25. And critical step, you did a lot of work. You want to know if you're going to get, how many of the 5 points are you going to get here? Okay, here's how you know if you did it right. If you take 65 and 25 and add them together, remember that's supposed to be 90. So check that, 65 plus 25, yes, it does equal 90. Whew. Okay, all right, and I want to do one more. Let's do, well, I guess the only vertical one on this page is number, hold on a second. All right, let's do 16 on the back. There's not too many vertical ones on your homework, okay? But this one, that's vertical. I still want to know what's x. I still want to know angle 1, and I still want to know angle 2. You're going to do that for each one of these problems. Doesn't matter which one you say is angle 1 and which one you say is angle 2. Okay? So vertical means they are equal to each other. I can draw an equal sign between them. So number 16, 5x equals 3x plus 8. Now 5x and 3x, different situation. They're both x terms, but they are enemies. They are on different sides of the equal sign. I cannot add them together. Okay, I'm going to have to subtract 3x off both sides so that I only have variables on one side of the problem. Divide by 2, and x equals 4. Then I got to sub in. One of my angles is 5x, so 5 times 4 is 20. Oh, Mrs. Andrews, I don't need to sub into the second one. It's going to be the same as angle 2. It's going to be 20. Okay. I don't recommend that. In fact, I'm going to require on your quiz that you sub into both if you want full credit, because if for some reason you got x equals 4 is wrong, that would make the angle 1 wrong because you subbed in an incorrect number. And if you just assume that the other angle is also going to equal 20 without actually checking it, but you're using a wrong x, you'll never know you messed up. Okay? So my other one is 3 times 4 plus 8. Well, that's 12 plus 8 is 20. Here's how I know I did it right. I'm not looking for these things to add up to be something. That's not what I set up. What I set up is that they were equal. I wanted these answers, 20 and 20, to be equal to each other. Okay? However, if I got a wrong x, I would not get equal values of 20 and 20, and that would be my clue that I did something wrong. Okay? So that's how I want your homework done. You will staple the sheet to your sheet of work to your homework worksheet with your answers on it, and it's due tomorrow. Thanks. Have a good day.